Hello and welcome to Remember Me.
The stories of our babies. I am Eli's mum, Chelsey and Katie.
And I'm Mila's mum, Helena Moraes. In this podcast, we'll be talking all about the stories and memories of our babies while they were alive, from womb to world.
Here we will ask you the questions that no one ever asks you after your baby dies. Let's humanise their existence and give dignity to their passing whilst breaking the taboo of baby loss.
If you're listening for the first time, this is what you can expect from episodes featuring other parents. We usually like to get into conversations and ask questions that no one tends to ask after our babies die. For the purpose of this podcast, we decided to separate the sections into three. The first set of questions, we ask parents about themselves. Then we hear the story of their babies whilst they're alive. And the very last part is to share what happened to their babies. We do this so that if anything becomes too triggering for our listeners, you can tap out and revisit another day or just listen to the first half. So when you hear us asking, what was your journey to parenthood, or tell us about what happened to your baby, that will be the moment where parents will talk about the moment their babies passed away. Thank you for listening.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Remember Me, the stories of our babies. I am Chelsey, your host, and today I am joined by Makenna's mum. So would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Katie, and I am Makenna's mom. You probably know me from Instagram, Rainbows for Makenna.
So obviously you're American, and I have a very important question to ask you before we start. This is from my husband. Mets or Yankees?
Okay, so oh gosh, it's a really right or wrong answer, and my family are Mets fans.
Yeah, okay, he'll love that.
Okay, good.
Makenna's your first, right?
Yeah. So I had 2 pregnancies before her that I lost at 9 weeks each. But like if somebody were to ask me, I would say Makenna is my first.
Yeah. So before you had all of your babies, how have you changed pre-babies compared to now?
Oh my God. How have I not changed? Let's be honest here. Yeah. So before any of my losses, and probably definitely still even after my first loss, I would say I really changed after my second loss in 2021. And prior to that, I was definitely outgoing and bubbly and like love to be around other people. And now I'm definitely a homebody. I avoid the general public at all costs.
Oh. And where did Makenna get her lovely name from?
Honestly, nowhere special. I just kind of saw it and I was like, oh, I like that. And it's funny because like 15 years ago, I babysat a little girl named Makenna, but never even like thought of it until after I saw that name again. But her middle name, Gwen, is after Trevor, my husband's grandmother.
And what is her date of birth and her due date?
So she was born May 20th, 2022, and she was due September 17th of that year. I was 22 weeks, 6 days when I had her.
So what was her star sign then? Is it?
I suddenly can't remember any of them. She is a Taurus.
Taurus. I take it you're not into star signs then?
No.
But yeah, how was you when you first found out you were pregnant with Makenna? Were you excited or?
No, I wasn't. No, I know, and that's not the right answer. Yeah, so because I had the 2 losses before her, when I got pregnant with her, I took a really long time to connect with her. I didn't fully like accept that I was pregnant with her and think that it could go right until I was like 18 weeks. And then she was born at 22 weeks. So after she died, I had a lot of guilt and regret that I felt like I really only had like 4 weeks with her.
Yeah. I suppose it's a pregnancy after loss, isn't it? So it's going to be, yeah, awful.
Yeah. And it's well, it's not funny, but it's ironic because I didn't really know about like the loss community when I was pregnant with her. I didn't know like all the terms. I didn't really recognize that like pregnancy after loss was such a big deal when I was pregnant with her, until I got pregnant with my son after her. Yeah, I didn't realize that it was all just like trauma compounded.
Normal feeling as well. Yeah. I mean, pregnancy after loss is hard, as you know, but obviously when you had your first losses, like not having this sort of community as well, probably because like all the feelings like you felt with Parker, you know, it's since Makenna, you've sort of found this community now, haven't you? So I suppose you kind of, I'll not understand it more, but like, I don't know.
I think I would totally say that I understand it more than I did with her. I don't know what is going on with my lighting. I'm not touching anything.
That is her. She's saying, I'm here, I'm listening, Mum.
Yeah, I definitely had all the feelings, but I didn't have the knowledge of like the language and everything to put into words how I was feeling when I was pregnant with her.
Yeah. And it's the guilt as well, like you said before. I mean, yeah, I mean, I felt the guilt not connecting with Dakota, obviously my living child, but she's obviously here with me now, so I've got that attachment now. But yeah, to imagine, yeah, that must be really hard. Do you have any nice memories from your pregnancy? Any?
My favorite memories. I would have to say finding out she was a girl, because I was positive that she was a girl right from the beginning. I've been correct every time I've been pregnant. Weird skill that I have.
Wow, that is a very good skill, to be fair.
Yeah. I've been pregnant 5 times now, so.
Yeah. What was your first 2 pregnancies? Do you know?
So the first one, we don't have confirmation, but we thought it was a boy. And then we had seen a medium after Makenna died who had said that he was a boy before I had even said anything about that pregnancy. And then the second one, we had genetic testing done, so we know that she was a girl.
Oh, did you name her?
So the first one we called Baby G, because our last name starts with G. And then the second one is Lil B.
Oh.
Like for little baby.
Lots of angel babies there.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're watching, driving each other crazy.
It's funny, like, having my son here now and seeing what, like, a little psycho he is. Everything, all the signs and everything totally makes sense. I'm like, oh, we just make them crazy.
Crazy things, yeah. Obviously, you said you had an inkling that she was a girl. Did you have any, like, cravings or, like, aversions or?
I didn't. So every time I've been pregnant, I don't like meat. Meat just skeeves me out when I'm pregnant. Every time. And the dishwasher. I can't stand being near the dishwasher when I'm pregnant. It's super weird. It doesn't even, like, I don't know. It's not the smell. It's not, I don't know. It's weird. But I every day had to have waffles when I was pregnant with her, and coffee. Waffles and coffee were my thing. Yeah. She was very nice to me.
I would be if you were feeding me waffles and coffee every day. What was your first scan like with her?
Again, it was just like super nerve-wracking. Like, I wasn't excited until like later on.
I can see that, because I know, obviously, after having Eli, I mean, I was so naive to everything being fine, and then being pregnant again, I like hated every single every single moment of the scans. Like, as long as she was fine and I could see she was fine, and I was like, oh, I can breathe a little bit, and then I come out and I'll be like, no, the anxiety's gone right back up again.
Yep. I hated going to the doctor. I hated it.
Yeah. No, it's not fun. I mean, I hate doctors anyway, but after like everything was over, it's like, yeah, no, not fun. And how was your partner when you told him?
Well, so Makenna was a little bit of a surprise. Getting pregnant is never my problem. It's staying pregnant. I was supposed to, so I had lost little B in October of 2021. And then we were supposed to have the hysteroscopy and everything to take a look at my uterus because we were pretty sure I had a septated uterus. So they wanted to wait 3 months after that miscarriage because I had a DNC hysteroscopy, but they wanted to wait the 3 months for my uterus to heal after the DNC. And then I found out I was pregnant with Makenna January 4th. So it was just under 3 months. So I definitely was not like, oh my God, we're pregnant again. It was like, shit, okay. I was like, my doctor's going to be so mad at me. And I just remember I walked into my doctor, and I've been with the same OB since I was like 15. And I walked in and I was like, hi. And he was like, hello. And I was like, please don't yell at me.
So you have like the same sort of people? Like,
yeah.
See, I mean, obviously here in England, we like to see different people all the time. I don't think I've seen like the same person once, to be honest.
Oh, wow.
It's really rubbish, yeah.
Yeah. No, I've been with my OB literally since I was 15. And I've known him before that because my mom also goes to him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So for like 20 years.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask, the light.
I am not doing anything.
And your babies are doing some crazy stuff right now.
It's even more strange because I'm not seeing it on the light itself that I have. Like, the light itself is not flickering. It's just something with, yeah.
Hey, babies.
I don't know.
Oh, so where's is he your partner or your husband or?
Yes,
husband. Where's he from? What would Makenna's heritage?
No, we went to high school together. But he grew up in St. Thomas, which is why not getting married right there. Yeah.
Which I want to talk about in a bit, by the way.
Yeah. Moved to. We live on Long Island in New York. And he moved to Long Island when he was like 10. And actually really funny. We graduated in an extremely small class. There was only like 230 of us. So everybody knew everybody. I knew who he was, but like we were in like totally different circles. But he was actually friends with a lot of my friends. And we just never really like crossed paths until our senior year. And like half of our schedule was the same. And we started dating within like 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Senior year, like the first 2 weeks, and we've been together ever since.
Oh, what did you buy anything for Makenna or?
We did not until like 18 weeks. But then we didn't really buy any. We had no like furniture or anything. I just had some outfits and stuff.
Have you kept them? Like,
I did.
Have you got like a special place for them?
Not really. A lot of them were gender neutral. I would say most of them were.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to still use a lot with Parker, which was hard but good.
Yeah, I get that feeling. I had loads for Eli, and I was like, yeah, it's great that it's not going to be shoved in a loft, in a suitcase with all these clothes. But at the same time, every time I look at her, I'm like, oh, Eli should have been wearing that. It is hard, isn't it?
It's so weird, too, because I feel like whether you have a lot or you don't have a lot, you kind of always wish it was the other way afterwards. So, like, I really didn't have anything for her. And after she died, I had always wished that she had a room set up so that after she died, I had like somewhere to go into to connect with her. But then I've talked to so many moms that had rooms set up and were like, I wish I didn't have all of this.
Yeah, no, I had a room for Eli, but I did. So at first it was like we shut it off, and then I sort of started going in there to like, you know, every time I felt like crying basically. But then the thought of having like another child in this room, I was like, no, I can't. And we ended up moving out. But yeah, it was hard, but I see what you mean. Like if I didn't have that, I'd probably be like, you know, the same as you, like I wish I had more for him. But yeah, I mean, he had a ridiculous amount of stuff. To be fair, I mean, I was like over my due date. So obviously, you know, you've got to get prepared, I guess. And like literally to the point I had the coffee in my car, and so that I didn't really didn't like.
Yeah, it's really hard. I had just like days before organized all of her clothes and everything into like different age groups, into different tubs, and they were all still in my dining room. So after she died, my parents came to my house and collected everything that they could find before we came home and just shoved it into the room that would have been hers.
Yeah, it's horrible, isn't it? It's like, as well, it's like for the parents, it's like you don't know what's best to do, because like sometimes, you know, some people want that reminder there still. And then sometimes other people are like, I can't see it. Do you know what I mean? So it's like trying to work out what is.
Yeah, sorry, I was just going to say my parents shoved everything in what was going to be her room, and it's like at the end of the hall with just my husband's office. So I had no reason to go to that end of the hall, and I was very grateful because I couldn't even look at the closed door.
Yeah, see, when I got back from hospital, Dean had put, because I had like the breast pump and stuff like on the side in the kitchen, and I had like bits scattered everywhere, and he'd put it all in his room and shut the door, and I come home and I was like, you've shut him away, why have you done that? And he was just like, obviously I just cried and got over it and just opened the door. But yeah, it is hard, isn't it? Like,
I'm sure if it was left out, you would have been like, you dope, why did you leave it all out?
Would you right, couldn't it? Did you have what was like Makenna's routine? Was she like an early bird, or did she keep you up at night, or
she didn't? Well, actually, she made me have to pee so much. I've never had to pee so much in my entire life as I did when I was pregnant with her. She just must have sat the right way the whole time, because now I'm currently 21 weeks. I'm only a week away from, or I'm almost 22 weeks. I'm only a week away from when I had Makenna. And I'm still sleeping through the night. But with her, I was up sometimes 3 times a night to pee.
Did you do anything like activities with her or go anywhere with her?
I was very, very scared to leave my town when I was pregnant with her and with Parker. I didn't go anywhere. I was like, I cannot be further than like 20 minutes from my doctor's office. And I live like 20 minutes from my doctor's office. So I didn't go any further than my house. I was on modified bed rest for a good chunk of my pregnancy with her, because I also had a hematoma. So I was just afraid to do anything with her. But we did have a snowstorm when I was pregnant with her very early on. And that was like our last snowstorm that we've had here. And so I remember that very well.
Would you like to share Makenna's story?
Sure. So basically, I'll share the short version of it. I was 22 weeks when I had my last anatomy scan. So I ended up having 2 because they couldn't see all of everything they needed to see the first time. So exactly 1 week before I gave birth, they could see that I definitely had the septated uterus. And they were confident that it was not going to cause any issues. They said that it was super thin and it wasn't going to cause any problems. So then at that point, less than a week later, I started with what I was pretty sure were contractions at like 8 o'clock at night on a Wednesday. And I remember saying to Trevor, if these don't stop before midnight, we need to go to the hospital. So they didn't stop. We went to the hospital. For whatever godforsaken reason, they still wouldn't let him come in with me because COVID rules, but it was 2022. So I don't know what their problem was. So he wouldn't come in with me. They took me into labor and delivery. Basically, they were like, you have to poop. And I was like, no, I went this morning. I don't have that problem. And they were like, no, you're a first-time mom. Your body does weird things. No sonogram, no pelvic exam. I explained to them that I was pretty sure it was contractions, but the contraction monitor wasn't picking anything up. They listened to her heartbeat. Her heartbeat was fine. At this point, I carried her pretty high, and I could always feel her on my left side under my ribs. And at this point, I felt her like very low, like kicking me. And I hadn't felt her that low. I felt her super early at like 14 weeks. And so I hadn't felt her kicking that low in weeks at this point. So they sent me home. Called out of work. And all day I was like, I'm still having these contractions. My husband was set to fly to, I think it was Oregon, to help his dad with something that night. And I was like, well, while you're at work, let me go to my doctor's office one more time, make sure that there's really nothing going on. They sent me home with like a stool softener and everything from the hospital. And we're like, you're totally fine to just do whatever, you're good. And so I ended up going to my doctor's office. My doctor had already left for the day. And I had to see his PA. And I had a good relationship with her prior to this. I had seen her plenty of times. And she, again, didn't do a sonogram, didn't do a pelvic exam. She had me jump up and down. Yeah. I have like some GI issues that run in my family. So she was like, it's probably just that. I would follow up with a GI doctor. And sent me home. So I was like, okay, I'm freaking crazy. Like, I clearly don't know what's going on at all with my body. So I called Trevor and I was like, I guess go to Oregon because I'm fine. So he left. He went to Oregon that night. Like 2 a.m. I woke up to pee and I was spotting. So I called my mom, and at this point, Trevor was still on the plane. So I called my mom and I was like, I'm driving myself to the hospital. And she was so annoyed. She was like, do not let me come to your house. I will take you there. I was like, yeah, you're going to drive to me, which is going to take 25 to 30 minutes. And then we're going to drive another 25, 30 minutes. No, I'm driving. The whole time I'm apparently in active labor. Didn't know this at the time. Would not have driven myself 25, 30 minutes if I had known what that was. My mom stayed on the phone with me the whole time and she's like, don't you dare have that baby on the side of the road. I was like, gonna do my best. Finally at like 3 or 4 a.m. they gave me a sonogram and they could see that my placenta was detaching. And I was like, I told you 2 days ago when I was here that something was going on. And so they admitted me and everything, gave me steroids for her lungs, gave me meds to try to stop labor. It was all too late at this point. My water broke at, I think it was 11:45 a.m. And I had her at 11:55 a.m. So my water broke and she like flew out. Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. And like the whole time I'm in there, I'm still like getting up to go to the bathroom and everything. And I was like, I feel like I'm not supposed to be walking. Like I'm supposed to be keeping this baby in. Isn't walking what they do to speed up labor? And they're like, no, like you're okay to still walk. And I was like, I don't feel like I'm okay to still walk. And they were like, well, we can get you a bedpan. And I was like, maybe I will walk. I was like, if these are my options, then but yeah, so I had to give birth. My mom was there, thankfully, but my husband was on the phone. So he missed the whole thing. He was in Oregon, so he was like 3 hours behind me in time. So he had to wait for a flight. The only flight he could get had like 2 layovers. So he didn't get there until about midnight that night. But she was born, they didn't even know if she was going to be born alive. They didn't know if she was going to stay alive. My hospital actually only does life-saving measures for extremely premature babies if they're 23 weeks. And so like the only saving grace I had was that she was 22.6. So they were like, we'll leave it up to you. If she had literally been 22.5, they would have said no. So we opted to try to save her, and she lived for 4 days.
Did you ever meet her?
Yes.
Yeah.
He did. He got there. They transferred both of us to another hospital where they had like I forget what it's called, like a level 4 NICU, something like that. And they didn't know if she was going to make the transfer. They didn't know anything. But she did really good. She came out, she cried. Her APGAR was, I think, even better than what Parker's was. In other places, it's basically like newborns get like a score when they're born that says like, I don't even really know 100% what it measures. It has something to do with like their breathing. But she was breathing on her own. She cried, and then whatever that third thing is, I don't remember.
Yeah. So you spent a few days with her in the hospital then?
So I didn't recognize it at the time, but the first time I went to the NICU, I definitely had a panic attack, and I didn't realize that that's what it was until later. I hated going to the NICU. I hated it. I hated going in there. I avoided going as much as I could, which of course then I had a lot of guilt for afterwards also. Yeah, I was trying to pump, so we were having to like bring down everything that I was able to get, and Trevor brought it down every single time. I didn't go with him every time. I only actually saw her probably a total of maybe like 10 times in the 4 days. And each time we didn't stay very long.
Yeah, I've heard like a lot about like the NICU. I mean, I've not been, but like all of the alarms and stuff, and it's quite a trigger in place, isn't it? Like even regardless of what anyone's been through.
Yeah. And we were very lucky in the sense that nothing happened until she died. Like there was never like a phone call, like we need to make a decision on what we're going to do until she died. So like they were really very much like, she's really doing the best that she could be doing. So there wasn't like anything added on top of just the obvious.
Yeah. So what was actually her cause of death then?
So it was tricky because her actual cause of death is just she was born too early. But what actually happened was that all of a sudden her blood pressure just tanked. And they couldn't get it back up.
Yeah. You obviously do loads of stuff in memory of her. Would you like to talk about that at all?
Sure.
We'd love to hear all about your retreat.
The retreat I'm super excited about. So I decided to do this retreat because the first time that we traveled after she died. We went to St. Thomas. We go to St. Thomas a couple times a year. And I wasn't supposed to go on this trip. It was for my brother-in-law's wedding. And I was supposed to be too pregnant to fly. I was high risk, couldn't travel. And it was the August after she died. And when we were there, I had just started Rainbows for Makenna, like within the last 2-3 weeks. And I said to Trevor while we were there, I was like, one day I'm going to host a retreat here for lost moms. And he was like, okay. And I was like, no, I'm going to do it. And he was like, okay. And then I don't even know what really pushed me to be like, now is the time. But this year I was like, next year it's happening. And so I just found the house and booked it. And I was like, there's no going back now.
Going back. I started up Rainbows for Makenna pretty early then.
I did.
Wow.
Very early. Yeah.
What are you going to make you think and decide to do that?
So I think it was, after my first miscarriage is when I really was like, this world is effed up when it comes to baby loss. I was like, there's the amount of stupid things that people said to me after my first miscarriage. I was like, this isn't right. People shouldn't be saying this crap. Mm-hmm. And I never lived by the wait until you're 12 weeks, even with my first baby. We told people when I was 5 weeks pregnant. So I always had this thing in my head that this was something that needed to change. So when she died, I was like, I am not allowing this to be our story for no reason. Everything doesn't happen for a reason. That's crap. But I was like, I'm giving this a reason.
Yeah, I get that. And it's like you're living for them, aren't you? So, and it's like I don't know, I don't know about you, but I feel when I'm doing something for Eli, I feel like it's my way of parenting him, you know?
Yes. Yeah, totally. I have said so many times, Rainbows for Makenna is the only way that I can be her mom.
Yeah. And it is amazing, what you're doing for others as well.
Thanks.
I mean, no, honestly, I can't, even my mum says, I get your cards, don't I, for Eli's birthday and Christmas. And even my mum's like, all the way from New York. Family and friends don't even bother to send, write his name in our Christmas card. Yet he's got a card all the way from New York. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I was my whole purpose with Rainbows for Makenna, I was I'm not going to change the world. I know that. I'm not looking to do that. I'm not going to change how other people interpret pregnancy and infant loss. I might do it a little bit. I might help a couple of people see things differently. But my biggest thing was I want parents to know that there is somebody somewhere that will never forget their baby. That you can always come to me and talk to me about your baby. I don't care if it's 2 a.m. I don't care if I'm half asleep. I don't care. Because I know how it feels to feel like your baby is forgotten.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's so lovely. We need people like you in our community for sure. I mean, so many people are just,
just suck.
Yeah, they just suck, basically.
They just sometimes suck.
Yeah, a lot of the time, yeah. But no, it is, what you do is actually incredible. But I was going to ask about signs. Obviously, she's been giving you some tonight. You get a lot from her.
Yeah, I do. So in the very beginning, it was it felt like all day, every day. And people were always like, what the heck? And I was like, I don't know what this is. I was like, this is crazy, because I would tell people these stories and they were like, this is not typical of somebody that dies to send this many signs. And I was always like, I don't know. I don't know if she's just crazy or if I'm crazy, or I don't know what's going on here. And over the years, I've kind of like tweaked my own belief to believe that like your children will send you more signs than like if your grandparent dies, just because the connection on earth is so much deeper to any other person that it stays that way in death.
That's, yeah. I like to think that too. It's just because do I remember rightly, you put a post on not long ago about getting less signs? We had a conversation, didn't we?
Yeah, and it's funny because immediately after I shared that, her signs immediately like picked back up.
Did that? She
for 1 second that I've gone anywhere.
Yeah, I love that. Well done. Well done, Makenna. Yeah, no, because I remember I was trying to think, because I remember, I'm sure it was you, and I was like, yeah, I'm mad at Eli too. Like, he hasn't given me signs for ages. I'm still waiting for my blue feather. I mean,
I have noticed that over time they've definitely evolved into like different types of signs and things like that. So like, whereas before I would be like, give me whatever, and it would just like appear essentially in like the most random, bizarre way, to now like just today, Parker walked into his room all by himself. I was just sitting in the hallway and he comes back out. He has a big basket of books and he only has a handful that have to do with Makenna or rainbows. And he comes back out with 2 books in his hand. One is a book about rainbows, and the other one, the main character of the book, is the name of the baby that I'm currently pregnant with.
Oh, wow.
So,
oh, wow.
Like, yeah, they've changed into different kinds of signs. Like, she's obsessed with sending signs that have to do with Parker ever since I got pregnant with him.
That's lovely.
She would send me, like, his room is like ocean themed, so she would send me like rainbows in the ocean and like just like rainbow whales and rainbow jellyfish and like just like weird things, but that always had to do with Parker.
Love that. That is amazing. She's clever, isn't she? Wow. Right, Eli, I hope you're getting some tips here because, you know.
The weirdest one that we just got too is he was just given, you know, the brand, the Little People brand. It's like, I don't know, like they're like little
people.
So he just got like this bus that had like a couple of the little kids in it. And everything happens to me like in threes. 3 is a really big sign to me since I have 3 angel babies. And the one Little People girl that he got is a little girl that looks just like what we would have pictured Makenna like, wearing a unicorn shirt that had 3 stars on it.
Wow.
And we were like, that's weird.
Yeah. That is, yeah.
And now it's gone. He's had it for a week and I have no idea where this little girl is.
You'll probably find it like in your bed or something later on. Wow. So do you want to give any like recommendations for like, you know, let's say it's like a mum's like early on in their grief, whether it's like a book or a charity or, I mean, I'm going to recommend your Instagram because that's very amazing. But yeah, like, I mean, I like books and stuff like that helped me a lot. You know, when Eli first started, is there any books?
Yeah, the biggest book that was recommended to me by another lost mom, and now I actually include this book in all of my comfort boxes, and I pass this book along and every chance I get. It's Signs by Laura Lynn Jackson.
Yeah, I got that in one of my boxes from you. Yeah, I've read that. It's amazing.
Yes, that is my favorite book. I think it's so powerful and really teaches you how to connect to the other side and everything.
Yeah, I think I need to refresh and read that again, actually. Maybe I need to just renew the connection with it.
Yeah.
I think that's what it
I've
is.
actually been wanting to reread it again too.
Yeah, I used to do like loads of like meditating and stuff, and he used to give me loads of signs there. And maybe it's just like where I'm busier and stuff. It's yeah, maybe I just need to spend more time with him, get him to send me some over. I'll probably get home and there'll be like a rainbow jellyfish somewhere or something now.
She'll be like, I'll talk to him.
I do. I love to think of them like all together and just like, I mean, I don't know whether it's true or not, but it's just nice to hold on to that, isn't it? Like that they're waiting for us. But yeah. Oh, and one more thing, I'm going to ask you a very in-depth question. What you wish you could change about like the awareness around baby loss?
Oh my gosh, it's such a loaded question, isn't it? Like, I want to say everything. But if I had to choose one thing, I think my biggest thing that makes me the most mad is that when people are trying to speed up our grief or change the way that we're feeling. And I think that something that I'm really, really passionate about is anger. Because I was so angry for so long. And everybody made me feel like I needed help for my anger. And I was like, no, I'm just freaking mad because my kid is dead. Like, just let me be mad about that. So that's something that I am really, really passionate about still. I still go through periods of time where I'm really angry, but nothing like how it was. And as soon as somebody, it was my therapist, finally one day was like, I give you permission to be angry. And it was like a switch flipped in my brain and the anger was gone. And I really think that it was just feeling like everybody thought there was something wrong with me for being angry that made me even more angry. So then just hearing somebody say, no, you have every right to be angry. I was like, okay, that fixed it. I'm good now.
Yeah, do you know, you've actually made me think about that as well. And when I was at work, everyone like literally looked at me like I was mad if I was angry at someone. And they're like, oh, you're just angry at the world, just so angry. And I'm like, yeah, my son's dead. Like, what do you expect me to be? Like, you wouldn't like it if I was sitting here crying, but yeah, I'm showing another emotion. And so what? Like, I'm allowed to be. But yeah, no, you are right. That's
because I think people expect us to be upset. People expect us to grieve. They expect us to be depressed. They, expect us to cry. So when we come in with an emotion that doesn't fit that expectation, I think people are like, what are you doing?
And there is a lot of expectation about how we should be grieving as well, right? Which drives me insane. Like, makes me so angry. Like, oh yeah, just move on. Like, yeah, I'm just going to move on. The fact like my kid's dead, like, what?
Yeah.
And then I got a comment the other day at work and I can't remember what was going on. And he literally turned around to me and was like, but I thought you was happy now. I was like, yeah, I may seem happy, but my son is still dead. Like, I know my daughter's alive, but I should still have my son with me too. Like, it doesn't take away the fact that I'm still mad at the world that my son's dead. Like, what is wrong with people? Oh, it drives me insane.
Yeah. And like, you brought up your daughter, like my son, like people have been like, it's so nice to see you so happy. And like, while I know they mean well, but I know that they're also thinking, oh, thank God she has a living child and she is fixed and she's better.
That's someone said that again at work. I work with men, which you can probably kind of tell that they're not very passionate. But I was really actually surprised. There was a guy that basically, I mean, he was drunk, which didn't help. And he was basically saying like, we were so glad, so relieved when we found out that Dakota was all right and stuff, blah, blah, blah. don't you think you should move on now from Eli? Well, he didn't actually use his name. He just said, don't you think you should move on now? But what shocked me is I didn't know until Eli had died, is that he had a little boy that died when he was born early as well. I'm not sure exactly why or anything, but no one knew about him. And I just thought, like, you're a bereaved dad, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I suppose it's just the way as well the world is now. Like, back then, you wasn't, because he's like my mum's age, say, it was completely different the way it's, like, everyone grieved back then, I suppose, and how no one talked about it. But yeah, and I just thought, and I got so mad, and I just thought, hang on, surely I'm actually grieving healthier, right? Because I'm talking about my son. Surely that's not good for me to just, like you, keep all that in my head and, like, the feelings inside, right?
I think about that a lot, like the older generations, where I've seen a lot of comments that lost moms have gotten from even lost moms that, had losses 50 years ago, being like, I got over it, why can't you? And it's like, no, you didn't get over it. It's stuffed inside you because you were forced to not talk about it because of the world that you grew up in. You're not over it. If you went to therapy and dealt with it, you would know that you weren't over it, because you don't get over it.
No, it's so true. And then I think, like, that's where, like, the other stuff, like mental health things, come into it as well, like the, I don't know, substance abuse and stuff like that. Like, you can't literally keep, I love talking about Eli, like, it just makes me feel good. And obviously it's probably the same with you, like Makenna's, I actually thought she was older than Eli for some reason, but she's actually a little bit younger, isn't she?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so Eli was December 21.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like 6 months.
Yeah, so, like, now he's, like, going to be 3 in December, and, like, less, obviously, especially now I've got Dakota, like, less people ask me about him and have conversations with me. So now, like, I just love talking about him. Mm-hmm. It's just shit that I don't get to do it all the time, if I'm honest.
And I don't know about you, but it almost feels like two different lives. Like, when you have a living child afterwards, like, you have, like, your identity as a lost mom, but then you have your identity as a mom to a living child too. And it's like,
mom, when you're new mom, like that called, which really fascinates me.
Yeah. And it's this, like, weird dual reality that you're, like, back and forth between all the time.
Yeah, it is crazy, like, how different like what you say, it is crazy. And it's like, I think back and it does feel like another life. It's so weird.
It does.
It's like surreal almost.
Almost feels like it happened to somebody else and you're just telling their story.
Yeah, and, like, watching it from someone else's perspective, right? I don't know, maybe it's just because it's been, like, 3 years now, but yeah, no, it really, I don't know, it's just feels so surreal. Like, sometimes I'm like, did that actually happen? Like, is my son actually dead? Like,
but then some other times you'll just be sitting at the table eating dinner and you're like, oh my God. Like, you're just, like, punched in the face with it all over again. And you're like, no, this did happen to me.
Yeah, it is. It's just, yeah, shit. But yes. Oh, well, thank you so much for coming today. I really appreciate you sharing your story and Makenna's story.
Any chance I get, I jump on it.
Well, thank you so much. Love to you all. Thank you so much to Katie, Makenna's mum, for sharing her story, as well as all of her babies. If you haven't already, or if you don't already, if you follow Rainbows for Makenna on Instagram, I really, really recommend them. They are the most amazing charity, and they send the most beautiful comfort boxes to anyone who's lost a baby. They also send Christmas cards and birthday cards as well to our little ones to make sure that they're not forgotten. And they're just such an amazing charity. So if you could give them a follow, that would be amazing. Thank you so much for listening. Take care of yourselves. Thank you, Eli. Thank you, Mila. And for those who are listening, may you receive a sign from your baby today.
Remember to be kind to yourself and take each moment at a time. With love, Mila and Eli's mums.